In psychological assessment, norms are essential for interpreting test scores and understanding an individual's performance relative to a larger group. What are norms in psychological assessment? The statistical summaries. Norms or statistical summaries of test scores obtained from a large representative sample of individuals. Context for interpretation. They provide a framework for interpreting raw scores by comparing them to the performance of the norm group. This allows psychologists to determine whether an individual score is above, below, or within the average range for their particular group. The types of norms in psychological assessments are age norms. It is to compare an individual's performance to the average performance of others in the same age group. Age equivalence scores on intelligence tests indicate that mental age that corresponds to a particular raw score. Next is the grade norms. It is to compare an individual's performance to the average performance of students in the same grade level. The grade equivalence scores or on the achievement test indicates the grade level at which students' performance is typical. Percentile ranks to indicate the percentage of individuals in a norm group who scored below a particular raw score. If a student scores at the 75th percentile on the reading test, it means 75% of the students in the norm group scored lower than the student. The standard scores to transform the raw score into the standard scale with a known mean and standard deviation. Example, Z-scores express scores in standard deviation are units from the mean. T-scores a standardized score with a mean of 50 and a standard deviation of 10. IQ scores standardization score with a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 50. The importance of norm in psychological assessment is meaningful interpretation. Norms provide context for interpreting raw scores and understanding their significance. Clinical decision making. They help clinicians make informed decisions about diagnosis, treatment planning, and interventions. Educational placement. They assist in making decisions about educational placement and the provision of appropriate educational services. Research. They are used in research to investigate the reliability and validity of psychological tests. Key consideration. The representativeness of the norm group. The accuracy of a norm depends on the representativeness of the sample used to establish them. The limitation of norms. The norms may not always be appropriate for individuals from the diverse backgrounds or with the unique characteristics. Ongoing updates. The norms should be updated periodically to reflect changes in the populations. By understanding the different types of norms and their appropriate uses, the psychologists can ensure the tests are interpreted accurately and the assessment results are used effectively to inform clinical decisions and guide interventions. So the types of norm, percentile norms, a percentile is converted score that refers to a percentage of test takers because the percentile are easily calculated. They are popular way of organizing all test related data including standardization sample data. Additionally, they tend themselves to use a wide range of testers. Age norms, also known as age equivalence scores. Age norms indicates the average performance of different samples of test takers who were at various age at the same time the test was administered. The grade norms is intended to indicate that the average test performance of test takers is given school grade. The grade norms are developed by administering the test to representative samples of child over a range of consecutive grade levels, such as 1st through 6th grade. The national norms, as the name implies, national norms are derived from a normative sample that was nationally representative and of the population at the time of norming the study was conducted. Next is the local norms, typically developed by the test users themselves. Local norms provide normative information with respect to the local population's performance on some tests. Norms from a fixed references group here. The distribution of the score established on the test from one group of test takers, referred to as the fixed reference group, is used as a basis of calculation of test scores for future administration of the test. The subgroup norms, A normative sample can be segmented by any of the criteria initially used in selecting subjects for the sample. What results from such segmentation are more narrowly defined subgroup norms. Thus, for example, suppose the criteria used in selecting child for inclusion in the XYZ reading test normative sample were age, educational level, socio-economic level, geographic region, community type, and handedness, whether the child was right-handed or left-handed. The test manual or supplement to it might report normative information by each of these subgroups.